What's up, fans of the Unofficial Commentators? We're back from our spring break, and we got a lot of things to talk about this week. We're going to discuss some the recent rumblings in the NFL, in particular how our teams did in the NFL draft. We're going to talk a little bit about some baseball and why the Mets can't stay healthy and they should start looking forward to next year. We're going to talk about the results of the first round of the NBA playoffs, which we didn't get a chance to cover before, and what's been going on in the second round, and what we're looking forward to in the East and Western Conference Finals. There's some pizza bets, some there in between. We got some birthdays. In particular, it's May. It's the month of the Veni Mondesi birthdays. Happy birthday to Grandma, to Mom, a bunch of my cousins, Carlos, Catherine, Gabby, cousin KK. Man, it's all going down. Happy birthday to everyone. Happy birthday to Sahud. Yo, stay tuned to the Unofficial Commentators. Do I sound hyped to you? Wait till you hear the show. And it begins now.
And we are back. Yes, look at me in a relaxed state right now. We are back again. Yes,
You look like that SNL skit with the ladies' man. All you need is the bottle of Cavassier.
Yep, that's how I'm gonna roll now. I just feel great right now. I just feel comfortable. I'm in the mood. I'm in the zone. We just finished recording an awesome UFC special, which you will see the link to it in the comments below with our friend Amaury, who joined us to talk some UFC 211. Man, was that cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I need some UFC in my life after that horrible boxing match I had to witness on Saturday.
Ugh.
My God, I had to see Canelo just pound a walking dummy called Junior Cesar Chavez Jr., who people are saying it might be adopted now, by the way. So yeah, man, I'm really upset about that boxing match. That was crap. So I needed some UFC. It's gonna be fun. But Jay, man, tell me, what do you got for us today, bro?
Well, we got a lot, man. But before we go any further, let's give a shout out to all of our friends and sponsors.
Yes.
Thanks to all the people for contributing, to all of the fans of the Unofficial Commentators who were patient with us while we took a quick little hiatus, but we came back with a new look. And our episodes are still as popular as ever, even though we were away for a little bit. People kept watching the episodes, and they kept joining the fam of the a lot of shout outs on the Report Card podcast by our regular contributor, Cousin Juan.
Yes.
They're going strong, recording every week, keeping people up to date on all of urban music. And our sponsor, as always, the So Loyal Clothing, ScotchPorter.com, where you can get your beard products. Go there, buy something, have a long, luscious beard like myself and Packy.
That's right.
All right, and as always, follow us on all of our social mediums. The Twitter, we're at USE_podcast. Damn, I'm slurring already. At Facebook, Unofficial Commentators. Join the fandom, join the conversation. We're on YouTube. That's where we're probably going to post this video. We are on SoundCloud. We got the Podomatic still going. Instagram. So many things, man, that happened in these last 2 weeks. We have so many things to talk about. So I really appreciate everyone who has contributed to where we are. But let's get right into some content. So with that being said, man, one of the things that I saw this week that happened of some significance was Aaron Hernandez's case being tossed. Basically, they're not going to try him for murder because he's dead. He can't pay his he can't pay his receipt, basically. So you mentioned on a previous something quite interesting about him potentially getting, or the team having to honor contract and pay out to his family after his death. With the court not his case, what does that mean on Hernandez's family?
Well, it's an interesting situation. I mean, obviously he is no longer guilty, but I believe he had different counts. So it'd be funny to see what happens with the other counts that he might have been, I think that he was called guilty for. And the thing is,
I mean, it's the one that he was guilty for that is, null and void, basically. Like, I think the judge did him a solid by doing that. The other ones, he was discharged. He didn't have to serve time or anything additional for the other two murders that he was cleared of.
Yeah, and you know the interesting part though is where we really have to look at is the NFL's conduct policy, because it's not just about whether he broke the law or not. It's about if he broke the NFL conduct policy that we've seen a lot of players have issues with before, you know, just for being mentioned in legal issues. So it's a topic that's still being worked on. I honestly don't have all the information. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but we'd have to look into, and I definitely will check out what could happen. I'd have to see the whole NFL rule book to see if he broke any of those rules. Because if he did, the Patriots can hang on to that and probably wouldn't have to pay off his salary to his family, which is $15 million. That's a you know pretty nice sum of money. But it is. I mean, it's definitely something to ponder on. We should definitely have a special lawyer, Jose Sahur, into our next show. We'll have to talk to him to see if he's available. Who by the way is, I have to give him a
Hey, we have a birthday! Happy birthday! It's your
yes.
birthday. Another year older, another
It,
year gone. Yes, it is his birthday.
it's his birthday, and I'm wishing him the best of luck here in this show. He is trying to get a job with the Chicago Cubs, so if that works out for him, man, it'll be great. Best of luck to him on that. So, um, we'll see. We'll have our specialist with that topic in the future, but there's so many things to consider that I cannot give a concrete answer based on that subject, man.
All right, well, something to keep an eye on. Sticking to the NFL, while we were away, the NFL draft happened. How do you feel your team did?
I loved it, man. I loved it. I loved it. The Raiders drafted an awesome cornerback, Gary Clowney, who everybody was talking about him being in rape. I trust the Raiders. They said they did their due diligence. You know, he went to the police. He gave a DNA. He took a lie detector test. Everything seemed to be perfectly fine. So I can't wait for Gary Clowney to be perfectly acquitted from that supposedly rape charge, who everybody says never happened, only the girl. Um, so I'm really excited about this guy. Gary Kleiner from Ohio State is awesome. But the pick that got me the most excited.
How well did that work out for Derrick Rose? I mean, yeah, okay, he wasn't guilty, but he had such a shitty year after that. That really puts a damper on your summer.
Well, he's not Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is a bum. That's number one. Two, Derrick Rose, you know, had a lot of injury issues. Yeah, Rose had a lot of injury issues. You know, Gary Clowney is young. He's coming from Ohio State. He was supposed to be a top 10 pick if it wasn't for that issue. So the Raiders kind of got a little gift there. Reminds me a little bit of Dallas with the lineman that was supposed to be involved in some kind of legal issue, even though he wasn't guilty, that he went undrafted and was supposed to be a first-round pick. I believe his name was Lyle Collins, and they got him undrafted as a free agent. Same with the Dolphins that got Jeremy Tunzel last year after the bong incident, you know, the gas mask bong. He dropped.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was supposed to be first overall pick or second overall pick.
Yep.
Miami got a gift on that one. I haven't seen any weed problems with him. I mean, he's awesome. He had a great year. Um, so yeah, man, I'm excited about Gary Clowney. But the pick that had me the most excited was Obi Melifonwu from UConn in the second round that the Raiders took. Man, a 6'4", 225 free safety that can also play corner. Man, he killed in the Senior Bowl playing corner man to man. This guy is a physical beast. I'm excited to see what he could do, man.
God bless you, by the way. Did you have a little seizure there? What was the guy's name?
Obi Melifonwu. If I got,
Let that be the last time you ever call me that.
Come on, man.
The New York Giants, they went heavy on offense. They picked up Ole Miss tight end Evan Ingram. You weren't too high on him, but it looks like, you know, last year they went all in on defense, and their defense pretty much held up until, you know, some injuries crept up late in the season. But they're still a really strong defense, and now it looks like they're going all in on offense. Not only did they add Brandon Marshall to Odell Beckham, got rid of the fat by letting go of Victor Cruz, even though he's a fan favorite. Now they pick up Evan Ingram, and just to solidify the passing game. And they're working hard on getting something there for the running game as well. I think was it LeGarrette Blount that was in talks of possibly joining the New York Giants?
I don't trust LeGarrette Blount in that offense. It's not that I don't like Evan Ingram. All right, let's be clear.
Hate him.
No. I have nothing against Evan Ingram. My problem was with the Giants picking him first of all that high, Second, I mean, they're not gonna. You have Brandon Marshall. You have starting Shepard is his name. You have Odell Beckham Jr. And now you bring this guy into the mix. You're going first overall on a tight end who normally don't blow up in the first season. For a guy that probably won't get all the looks that he should get, he can't block. So the Giants need a blocking tight end because their running game sucks. And where it really, really kind of hurt me the most, or where it bothered me the most, better said, is with the running back position. The Giants, I thought they were going to get stronger at running back, man, and they should have. I mean, they did get some later running backs, but Dalvin Cook was still on the board when the Giants picked the Florida State running back. I love that guy. That guy would have been perfect for the Giants. Um, I would have loved to see them pick, be a little bit more aggressive if they're going to go on offense with something better. But Evan Ingram, I just don't trust non-blocking tight ends. It's not my thing. It's just my style. I don't like it.
Yeah, despite the controversy, I really like Joe Mixon. He was still on the board too. I wouldn't have minded if they would have picked him up.
Yeah, except Joe Mixon is like a fucking serial killer. That's the only problem.
Yeah, he punched a woman in the face. I am not speaking on behalf of the unofficial commentators. I'm not saying she deserved it, but things happen. He lost his temper. He's a kid. He made a mistake, and he's trying to come back from it.
Yeah, but
that should not affect his chances in football. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they really don't give a shit. They picked up two guys that have like questionable situations in their past, and these are dudes that are primed to break out and become stars in that Cincinnati offense.
Yeah, the Bengals are looking right now like the Miami Hurricanes from the early 90s and late 80s. I mean, with Vontaze Burfict in there, these guys are just going to go. My God.
That's one hell of a mentor.
The trainers and the assistant coaches for the Bengals are going to have to be parole officers. I swear to God. But, Joe Mixon, he didn't play his last year in college because he was suspended. It wasn't the first time that he punched a girl. And not just that he punched
Wait, what? He's a serial puncher?
Yeah, it wasn't the first time he had. Wait, let me rephrase that. It wasn't the first time he had an incident with the law regarding stuff like that. That's why he was suspended his first year.
Please rephrase that. I mean, what the hell? He punches people all the time. Is this just a normal thing?
And he did kind of break her face when he punched her. So.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's not cool. That means he went full force. But regardless. Joe Mixon would have been a better fit for the Giants as well than Evan Ingram. So
yes, most definitely. But it is what it is. In the second round, they decided to go quarterback. They're talking about this. What's his name? David Webb as the successor to Eli Manning.
I don't buy it.
I think Eli Manning still has a few more years left, though. Like, it's his successor until when? Are they going to build him up, Eli Manning, like they did with Garoppolo in New England, and end up trading him because Eli Manning is just still hanging out there, still not getting injured, still being retardedly great?
Nope, I don't think so. I don't think this is not a successor to Eli Manning. I think it's the media, taking advantage of the fact that he got drafted by a New York team. But I remember this exact same conversation when the Giants drafted Ryan Nassib in the 4th round. Oh, the successor to Eli. Man, they're just getting a cheap rookie quarterback to be the backup in case Eli, the Iron Man right now of the NFL, can't go. He probably will be good to go every year. David Webb is a 3rd-round quarterback that's not going to see the field ever. He's just a backup quarterback. Ryan Nassib's contract was up. What a coincidence. They don't have a backup quarterback, so they draft a quarterback in the 3rd. It's a backup quarterback. It's no successor, man. Forget about that. It's not. I don't buy this story that everybody's trying to feed on. I don't like it. I mean, I like the pick. It's a backup quarterback, but I don't like him as a successor. I don't see it.
Yeah, Nassib is hot garbage, though. Whatever, good riddance with him.
That's what happens when you draft quarterbacks in the 4th. Well, look at Connor Cook from the Raiders. He was a 4th-round quarterback. How did he look in the playoffs? Oh, great, right?
Shitty.
Everybody thinks you can find Russell Wilsons and Dak Prescotts in the 3rd like every year, man. That doesn't happen every year. That rarely ever happens. So don't buy it. Don't buy it.
All right. So how about some of the bigger names that went in the draft? How do you see them making an impact, in particular to our show? How do they impact our fantasy teams?
Oh man, my favorite pick regarding fantasy, and my favorite pick regarding draft overall, I don't know, a lot of people might not agree with, but it's Christian McCaffrey. I was obsessed with Christian McCaffrey throughout the entire draft process, and I love the pick of him in the Carolina Panthers. Cam
He's
Newton,
deceptively fast.
oh, that's so racist. Cam Newton has never in his career had a running back that's faster than him. This is gonna be so fun to watch. This kid could do it all, man. He's gonna punt return. He's gonna kick return. He can spread out wide. I mean, you've heard the stories. I'm not gonna say what everybody else says. The fact is that this kid is gonna touch the ball a lot in his rookie year. I think he's a favorite for the offensive rookie of the year as well. I think he's gonna be awesome for fantasy. And I love the kid, and I love the fit in Carolina. It's a run first team. So he's gonna see a lot of awesome looks, man. I said it already. I love it.
All right, fantastic. And is that all you think? Some of the bigger names that went here, Mitch Trubisky went to Chicago. They
Oh my
already
God.
signed a big free agent quarterback, and then they trade one spot to pick
That's
up a quarterback to then sit him on the bench. Like, what?
So embarrassing. That is so embarrassing.
And I honestly thought that Patrick Mahomes was like the biggest prospect coming out of the draft, and in the last week or so, like all the talk was about Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, that's really embarrassing, man. I mean, just imagine. Let me put it to you like in normal context. Like, how can I put this in normal context? It's like you're dating a girl, right? And she's giving you all the signs that this is actually something legit, and you're going in the right direction. And you're like, all right, this girl, I'm gonna ask her to be my girlfriend. I think this is the girl. I'm gonna start like get steady with her. And when you pop the question, like to go steady, when you try to like move into a next stage, she tells you, oh, she's seeing another guy also. What the fuck, dude? You signed Mike Glennon. You give him a $15 million contract for 3 years. The guy is popping champagne. He's finally gonna get his chance, and you don't tell him that you're drafting a quarterback. You don't tell him that you're trading up second overall and giving away all your freaking picks. Like, dude, GM's not like I don't understand. How can I know more than general managers? It just doesn't make any sense to me. How are the Rams doing after trading out everything for Jared Goff? How are the
Exactly how they were
how
doing
are
before.
the Redskins doing after they traded away everything to move up to get Robert Griffin? Thank God Kirk Cousins kind of developed into something legit, but that was just this year. They struggle. Teams that move up like this struggle. Even the Philadelphia Eagles that moved up to get Carson Wentz, which I think is legit, even they had their struggles last year, and they're not going to have any picks to put things around Carson Wentz. So it's just all on Carson Wentz. This is ridiculous. It's a stupid move. I mean, if you see other people failing, why are you trying it? And for Mitch Trubisky, a quarterback that only started 1 year in college, it's ridiculous. A quarterback that couldn't get a starting job because he was benched because he was beat out by a guy that's not even in the NFL. It's ridiculous. And the worst part about all of this is that you ruined Mike Glennon's psyche. This guy was popping champagne. Now he was like, what the fuck just happened? He's probably watching the draft all excited with his friends, like, oh man, we're probably going to get a receiver to help me out. Probably going to get an O lineman. We need some of those, because, they just gave me $15 million, man. And they signed a rookie quarterback, and all his friends are probably like, "What the fuck just happened? Nobody told me anything. It's ridiculous. It's probably one of the stupidest moves I've ever seen in the draft in my lifetime."
Well, Packy, don't hold back, man. Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, it was stupid. It was stupid, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You went all in on them. Good grief. All right. Well, the player I'm most excited about in fantasy, and maybe I shouldn't say it on the podcast because people are gonna stomp and go after him right away, is Leonard Fournette. I've been big on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like a mental block that they have that they just can't get over the hump. But I thought they were primed to be in a really good position last year, um, and I only see them getting better this year. I don't know that they took any positive steps towards getting better at quarterback, but that being said, if they switch up the play calling a little bit and they include Fournette a lot more, who I think is a beast. This is a guy I'm chasing in the draft.
Yeah, man, for sure. But I don't think that's a secret though. So you're okay. Yeah, I think you'll be okay. Everybody knows it.
And I know it's not a secret, but
Don't think he's going undrafted in fantasy.
does he go top 10 like Zeke did last year?
No, I don't think so. No, I think Christian McCaffrey could go top 10.
McCaffrey, but that's me. I'm not always right. All right, man. Are we good with football, or you still got some more things you want to add there?
No, man. I'll just finally add, just for the sake of it, the team that won the draft, I think, the team that did the best job in the draft. I think we were going to discuss that. I'm going to tell you straight up. I think it was the 49ers, and I'm going to keep
Oh
it
yeah,
short. Oh yeah, I'm going to keep it
because
short
of all the draft picks to take away.
because they freaking robbed the Bears from that second pick. They just killed it. They killed it right there. Just
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of. They gave up so much for a second pick. I mean, did the Chicago Bears just become the Brooklyn Nets of the NFL?
No, they're worse. That's where they're worse. I mean, the 49ers got pick number 2 and they were going to take Solomon Thomas. They they could have picked at number 3 and still got Mitch Trubisky and kept all their picks. Does it get more? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not rocket science, fellas.
yeah. They
The
did him a favor. There you
49
go.
the 49ers just freaking this is ridiculous. Of course, the
Hey, John
49ers.
Lynch, it's your first time around. Let's do you a favor. Shouldn't look bad in front of people. Let's save face.
John is a hustler.
I also like the Houston Texans move. If J.J. Watt coming back and the rest of that team exactly how it is, picking up Deshaun Watson,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
that's something to look out for. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders just yet, but give it a year or two and kind of oil up that machine. They're gonna look pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Deshaun.
Will Fuller showed some signs of greatness. The team as it currently stated, the defense is strong as hell. It does. I don't think they get enough credit for their O line, at least for the running game, because
Hmm?
it seems like it doesn't matter who they put back there. They're gonna run for 1,000 yards. Uh, I like the Houston Texans a lot.
I
I, I,
agree.
I could I can see them facing the Giants in the Super Bowl. Well, that being said,
Yeah, Deshaun Watson versus David Webb in the Super Bowl.
woo wee. All right. Blah 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 blah. All right. Packy, tell me about your Mets. Why can't they stay healthy, man?
Who knows, man? I think they're cursed. I don't know if it's
Is
the.
there is there something in the water? Like they made everybody believe in what was it? It was it 2015 when they went to the World Series.
Yes, because they were healthy.
Everyone was believing, man. I would step out of my house and I see all of these Mets hats. Everybody was into it. People had like Mets flags, cars. It was blue and orange, everything. Now it's the same old navy blue and white.
I,
Yankees are killing it, and the Mets are all hurt.
you're a hater. You're a hater because the way you say it. But
Why on earth am I a hater? I'm pointing out reality, buddy.
yeah, but you're saying it like it bothered you. Why?
What bothered me that there were Mets hats?
Yeah, man. What's your problem with Met
No,
fans?
it's the New York team.
Okay.
Pa que gane, ¿quién ganó? Who beat the Mets? Was it Kansas City? Pa que gane, Kansas City, que gane Nueva York. Let's have a Tuesday Day parade. I don't care.
All right, I get it. But honestly, I don't know if it's the turf. I don't know if it's the training staff. I don't know what's going on. But something is seriously messed up with the Mets. I mean, just listen to their DL list right now. Joanna Cespedes, Travis Darno,
Don't drink the water.
Lucas Duda, Seth Lugo,
Everyone.
Steven Matz, Brandon Nemo, Noah Syndergaard, David Wright. Like, these are starting players in any MLB team, not just the Mets. I mean, you could say, like, oh, but they're starting only in the Mets because the Mets suck. No, these guys are legit starters everywhere, from top to bottom. You can maybe make an argument for Brandon Nemo, because he's just coming up. But besides that, these guys are all starters. These guys have all had significant accomplishments with the Mets. They've put their grain of salt in the what the Mets have built. But you can't win like this, man. You can't win with so many injuries. And that's not even to mention the guys have had injury problems throughout the year. Juan Lagares has had injury problems. Cabrera has had injury problems. Wilmer Flores has had injury problems. And there's two injury-prone guys out there. Jose Reyes and Neil Walker have not had injury problems, but don't be surprised if they're coming around the corner as well. And watch out for Matt Harvey. I mean, he's all a drunk right now, so you never know. He's gonna start on Friday. He'll probably just, I don't know, have some cramps or something because he's an alcoholic apparently. I mean, but this is a horrible, horrible year for the Mets. I don't see it getting any better unless everybody miraculously eats a sensu bean from Dragon Ball Z and heals up.
So start looking forward to next year for the Mets.
I mean, it's sad to say it so soon because it's 162 goddamn games. But
I thought they'd be out of it by July, but hey, man,
nah, man,
sometimes they overachieve.
that's not fair. Because to be honest, if the Mets are healthy, they are a top contender team. They're one of the best teams in the National League talent wise. But talent on the bench is useless.
The Yankees are killing it, bro.
Yeah, the Yankees are the complete opposite. Not only are they extremely healthy, but the young guys are stepping in
Oh,
just like
they're
it
so
happened with the Mets in 2015. So this could be a pretty cool story. Or better said, the Mets in 2014 when they lost to who was it that they lost to San Francisco? I think it was. I'm not
probably.
sure. I'm not sure. But the point is, the Yankees, man, the young guys are stepping in. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with them after the summer when it gets a little colder. You know, if they go into maybe a drought, how they're going to manage it because it has to happen. There's no way Aaron Judge is going to keep up this. This is amazing. I mean, unless this guy is the next Albert Pujols, it's amazing the rhythm that he's at right now. If
But
he,
it's not just Judge, man. If it was just Judge, I wouldn't say anything. But it's Judge and
yeah, starting Castro is
it's
killing it. You
uh,
know,
Gary Santana. What's his name? The
Gary
Gary Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Sorry, Gary
Yeah, you.
Sanchez. Uh, I picked up Aaron Hicks in fantasy because he just hits every day. He wasn't supposed to be a regular player, but he's out there every day, and every day he's getting me fantasy points. He's getting 2 out of 3, with a base on balls or something like that. These kids are doing it up.
Yeah, man, and there's if only one guy is hitting right now, you'd say that guy is really talented. But if everybody's hitting, then you really got to get into the coaches. You got to give credit to the Yankee hitting coaches right now. What they're doing with these young guys. I mean, whatever their adjustments are, or they're teaching them, or whatever they're studying, to prep these guys up for games. It's amazing because everybody is hitting. Chase Headley's. I mean, although Chase Headley went through a slump, he's doing pretty good. Starting Castro, we already mentioned him, and you already mentioned the other guy. So it's very impressive what's going on in the Bronx right now.
I'm going to call you out on you saying that the Yankees farm system was no good. They were actually so good that everyone wanted to trade for those players. And now that they decided to not go out and fill their teams with free agents and they're just bringing up all these kids, they have really good players, man.
Well,
And it they're saving so much by not going out and getting these free agents that they can put in a lot of money next year or whenever it is that they want to go after Machado. And uh, these young kids still have whatever a rookie contract looks like in baseball. They can go after some really decent pitchers too.
I'll tell you this much. I don't watch minor league baseball, so the only information we have regarding the minor league system is what we see in the rankings for the prospects and the scorecards we see and stuff like that. Uh, and most of these guys, I mean, they were prospects, but these guys weren't highly to the prospects. You got to give a lot of credit to Ryan Cashman that a lot of New Yorkers bashed on for not making all the fancy moves and trading away all these guys. He didn't make any moves in the trade deadlines. Remember that, and he stocked up on prospects, trading away a couple of players. And look at what's happened now. This is all thanks to Brian Cashman for
Trust the
not
process.
for not budging. Yeah, he trusted the process. Nobody else did in the Bronx. I mean, I do New York radio, and I know how crazy these Yankee fans were about Brian Cashman. They wanted his head because he wasn't doing any moves. But
Gotta win now.
he played it. Yeah, but he played it smart. And the Yankees can actually build a dynasty if these guys stay healthy and continue to grow as they are.
Yeah. I dig it. A new core four. Let's do it. The new generation of the core four. All right. You mentioned Matt Harvey earlier. Has he always been such a dick?
Yes, he wasn't. I kind of noticed it was kind of like a secret
It would have
because
been excellent if he would have just left it at yes. Just yes and move on.
No, I'll tell you why. It was kind of like a secret at first. I mean, I remember they hyped him up as the new Dark Knight and stuff like that of New York. They wanted to build him up as the face of the Mets. But after that 2015 comeback of the year season, when he had an innings limit, and the Mets made the playoffs and they needed him, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna pitch anymore because I don't want to go through my innings limit. And it was like a whole drama. He ended up pitching kind of. That kind of the way everything happened. That kind of showed you that he never cared about the team. All he cares about is himself. And what happened now proves it. So yeah, he's a dick.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a second. What happened?
I said, how long is he signed to the team for?
How long is it? What?
How long is he signed to that team for?
I think he's a free agent after this year. I don't. He hasn't signed an extension, so he's probably gonna move on from the Mets. He doesn't want to be in the Mets, and I don't think the Mets want him after what happened. I don't think he has too many friends in the locker room. I don't trust Matt Harvey anymore. It's heartbreaking because Matt Harvey is to me like what Aaron Judge is to you Yankee fans right now. You know what I mean? So imagine like you're seeing all this success and all of a sudden you find out the guy's a dick, massive dick. It's kind of depressing. So it's tough, but I think he's gonna have to move on.
Listen to this from Bleacher Report. Anonymous MLB exec says Matt Harvey's free agent value down to 1 year, $10 million. Some teams wouldn't touch him. What a shitty life when all you make is $10 million in a year.
Well, remember the business that you're in. I mean, for a baseball yeah, I know it's
Fuck you, Matt Harvey.
maybe the best thing
Don't even tell me anything. Just leave it at that.
the best thing for Matt Harvey would be to sign in a really small a small city because the New York life has gotten to him.
Son of a bitch. $10 million. Poor guy. I'm so sad for him. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor, if he makes $10 million, he'll quit combat sports altogether. This guy. The least he'll make is $10 million. Ese mierda.
20 million. You know how many pay-per-views that Canelo Chavez fight sold?
I don't know. That's a whole other story.
16 million. If you do that at $60 a pop, do the math. These guys on pay-per-views, I don't know what their percentages are, but they probably easily made 100. Easily made 100 mil on pay-per-view bonuses.
How many zeros in a million?
6.
Sure about that? Oh, damn. Times $60. Shit. That's $960 million, dude. That's almost $1 billion in one night.
Yeah. 10% of that is
Goodness gracious.
Let's say you're making 10%, that's $96 million.
Yeah. That's a lot of million.
What I'm getting at, if Conor fights Mayweather,
$960 million for Julio Cesar Chavez to go out there and get punched in the face.
So if Conor
Where
McGregor...
do I sign up? I don't want to take a single like boxing like training. I'm not gonna punch a single bag. Put some gloves on me. Let me get punched in the face, and I'll fought off the AIDS.
Yeah, well, you were kind of cutting off a little bit there, so I didn't hear half of what you said. But yeah, where do you sign up?
Funny. Just laugh.
Yeah. Where do you sign up? It's crazy. So just imagine if McGregor and Mayweather sign up for boxing, like it's gonna happen. The amount of pay-per-views these guys are gonna sell.
Packy, are you sick of eating pizza?
Never, ever, never.
Because first of all, you had a pizza riding on the Cavaliers sweeping the Pacers.
Yes.
That happened.
Yes.
Then you said they were going to sweep the Raptors. For a second, I thought about opposing you. I was like, nah, they got to win one at home. Like, it can't be that bad. I mean, at least as far as the East is concerned, they have 3 prominent players. That's almost a super team. They have a big 3.
Right.
They got fucking swept too.
You know, I did it with my buddy Omar, who's been on the show before. Shout out to Omar.
All I imagine is Rob Stark on his horse with the wolf head on it. King of the North, King of the North, King of the North.
Omar Omar is officially the third worst LeBron hater that I've ever met. Um, so yeah, official number three. And he said that the Cavs weren't going to sweep the Pacers.
Hear that, Omar? You're officially number 3.
Yeah.
You're the unofficial commentators' official number 3 worst LeBron hater.
Yes. In
Kudos
my book.
to you, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. So it was a friendly bet, so it's just a box of pizza, which he paid up the first one already. He still has the second one pending. We'll probably save it for the next round that we watch LeBron James. But yeah, man, I knew there was going to be a sweep. Toronto's too soft, and his hate got the best of him, and he bet against the Cavs again, and he lost. I'm not going to go for a triple yet, but we'll see what happens.
Does it matter who the opponent is? Like, will you go triple if it's Boston or the Wizards, or not really?
I don't think the Cavs are going to sweep again, regardless who wins. I mean, by law of averages, they have to lose at least one this time. Like, I don't think that they how do I explain this? The only reason I think the Cavs could lose is because they've been winning so much, if that makes any sense. Uh, so they have to lose a game. It's not like any basketball reason, like me looking at X's and O's saying that why they would lose a game to Boston or Washington. They shouldn't lose any games, but by law of averages, they probably will. But I'll tell you this much: that's whoever goes, that series is not going to 7. I can take that bet with anybody. I don't think it's even. I'll bet that it's not going to 6. As a matter of fact, it won't get to 6 games.
I think we're doing this show right now as the game was playing, the Celtics and the Wizards. I don't think either of us has seen the results. Great game, by the way, in San Antonio, man. Manu Ginobili turning back the clock.
Yeah.
When I stopped watching the game, the Celtics were up by 20. This was going into halftime, and they actually won by 22 points, 123 to 101. Celtics Bradley career playoff high, 29 points. So
Wait, who'd you say won again?
the Celtics.
Okay, so this series is stupid. They're all winning at home, so I bet Washington's gonna win the next game, and then Boston wins Game 7. So fucking predictable.
I mean, is it stupid? Isn't that not what you expect? The home team wins.
Well, it speaks of both teams. It speaks these are both very bad road teams. So, if that's clearly not Cleveland's case. So if any of these guys,
Is another sweep for Cleveland?
yeah, I mean, this could easily be a sweep for Cleveland. If you can't beat Cleveland in Cleveland, then you're gonna get swept. It's how it is. So whatever, man. These teams are weak. The same thing you mentioned, the Houston and San Antonio game. The only thing I got from that game is that those teams are not even close to the Golden State Warriors. That's the best assumption you can make from that game. Whoever wins is just gonna get killed by the Warriors.
Now, an interesting topic came up today. Would you rather? I mean, I guess you would rather see Packy would rather see Houston go up against Golden State, but do they present a bigger threat to the Golden State Warriors?
I think they do, just because they got the shooters to match them up. You know,
it's kind of a one-man band, though.
Yeah, it is, but see it this way. I think Houston can have a game or two where everything hits. You know how they had that game 4 versus San Antonio,
right?
And that would be a really interesting matchup versus the Warriors.
They can definitely have a game like that, and then the series would end 4-1.
But if San Antonio doesn't have nights like that, that they hit everything. But what they do have a lot of, and they've had it in the series, is nice that they don't hit anything. They had it versus Memphis, and they've had it versus Houston. They just don't hit anything. And if that happens versus the Warriors,
yeah, but you know what? They don't rely on anything either. Like, they can still compete by just running plays. I like watching San Antonio play basketball, and I mentioned this earlier because I feel like it's the only team still running plays out there. Like, a lot of people talk about ball movement, but all I really see is center's kind of out there waiting for a rebound, and the ball like rotates all around the three-point line. When I watch San Antonio play, yeah, they move the ball around the three-point line, but then, after a pass, somebody cuts. There's like a backdoor cut here. There's a pick and roll. they actually run plays. This is something I don't see with most teams. And this is something I miss about basketball. If I just wanted to watch players shoot 3-pointers, man, I go to the park or some shit. Like this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, it's all nice and dandy, but when you're facing Golden State, how do you stop them? How do you stop them? It's a one. San
With
Antonio's
Kelly
all.
Olynyk,
Oh my God.
break
Yeah,
somebody's cap.
yeah. He can only break one guy's kneecap. He can't go up to.
Why not?
He can't go hit Curry in the perimeter. He's never gonna go step up there.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not make it perfectly obvious? Why not do
Well,
what Amaury did and take your 12th man off the bench, right, and just go and like ACL somebody? Like what the hell?
it's a moot
Go
point.
ACL Steph Curry.
It's a moot point. Olenek is in the East, but the point is San Antonio has, because the thing is to beat Golden
Isn't
State.
it easy? Still make the finals.
The only way you can beat Golden State is if you match their offense. It's not about running plays and shutting down Kevin Durant because Kawhi Leonard could defend. That's bullshit. Kawhi and Curry are gonna cook them if they shut down Kevin Durant, and if they don't shut down Kevin Durant, then it'll be a blowout. They lost Tony Parker, who might help on defense versus Curry. So Patty Mills isn't going to defend. And the rookie, the other point guard, I forgot his name, he's not going to do shit against Curry either. So San Antonio could easily lose in 4 or 5 games versus the Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised. Houston can get a couple of lucky ones. So that's my logic to it.
All right, so I just want to make one last point so we can get out of here and both enjoy a nice evening of sleep. Illig made a really good point that there are so many like one-dimensional, incomplete players in the NBA that are passing for stars, like a DeMar DeRozan, for example, like a Kyle Korver who you trade for, but you know he can't put the ball on the floor. And like him, there are so many, many more just incomplete players. Is the only way to win a championship now to get a super team?
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you why. Because there are super teams built. How do you expect to beat a super team without having a super team? The days of pride where the superstars stayed in where they were drafted or they went to a team to carry them, those days are over, bro. Paul George, Kyle Lowry, probably Chris Paul. Who else am I missing? Uh, Probably Carmelo, maybe even Jimmy Butler. All of these guys are really, really strong candidates to go to a different team in 2018, 2017, 2018. If that happens, what do you think they're going to go to? The Timberwolves? You think they're going to go to the Phoenix? They're going to go to teams with superstars. They're going to go build their own super teams, or they're going to pull a Kevin Durant and join a super team, because that's the only way to compete. It's impossible. I mean, look at Indiana. Indiana had a really, really good team. I think it was in 2013 versus Miami Heat, and they even won the #1 seed. The Bulls in 2010, 2011 had an awesome team, also had the first seed. Those guys never made it past what? The super team, the Miami Heat at that moment. You know, the Spurs have always had great teams. They're never going to make it past these Warriors. These guys are super duper. So it's no possible way, man. You have to build a super
To
team.
quote the great cousin Juan, that is so whack. It is so whack that you have to sit through 82 games and then 20 plus games in the playoffs to end up with the same shit you knew at the beginning. I mean, from the very beginning, we knew it was going to be Golden State Warriors versus Cleveland Cavaliers, and nothing we've seen through 4 or 5 months of basketball have shown us absolutely anything different.
Well, I'll quote Colin Cowherd on this one. He made a pretty interesting analogy. Titanic was one of the best movies of all time, ticket-wise, what they sold. So everybody went to see Titanic when it came out, and everybody knew the boat was going to sink, but everybody went to watch it anyways. Everybody knew the ending. A boat is going to sink. So it's the same thing. From the get-go, we all knew it was going to be Golden State Cleveland. We still know this, even though it hasn't happened. But we're just there for the ride to see how it's going to happen. And when it finally gets there, well, we just want to see who survives. You know what I mean?
All right, well, I feel like there's so much fun basketball in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The second round is just kind of like meh. Eastern Conference Finals is more meh, and then
Yeah.
we're just kind of waiting for those finals. So, I'm raising a glass for the finals. Big ass
What?
glass, by the way.
I'll give you a reason why that is. When we were in the first round, we were looking at least at a couple of series that were saying, all right, these guys, if they win, they're going to face each other, and that's going to be fun. And we said did the same thing in the East and in the West. Now it's all right. So whoever wins is going to go against the Warriors, and whoever wins is going to go against the Cavs. And since we already know the Cavs and the Warriors are going to just kill whoever wins, it kind of loses a little bit of the fun part to it.
All right, so we're almost ready to get out of here, but before we do, I want to ask the unofficial commentators faithful to weigh in. I want to get a few suggestions. I want to name this little dude right here.
Oh.
This is my New York Giants team gnome. It was a gift. I don't want it to be called Team Gnome. So what can we name him? Give me some suggestions. If I get a bunch of good ones, I will put it to a Twitter poll, and whatever you guys decide to name this guy, that'll be his name.
How about
leaving it in your hands?
How about Norman with a G? Norman.
Suggested. Put it in the comment section of the YouTube video. Put it on Facebook. Write it to me. Write it to us on Twitter at UC_podcast.
Yeah, screw that. Put it in the comment section. I'm gonna think of some cool ones and I'll put it in the comment section too.
Oh, we have a double contest. Name my gnome. Guys, thank you for sticking with us for another episode of the Unofficial Commentators. This is where we're going to call it today. We'll be back next week with more hijinks from this crazy duo. Do tune in to the UFC podcast we recorded earlier. I'm checking out here so I can go record another one. We're going to be talking sneakers pretty soon.
Yeah.
So if you guys enjoy sneaker culture, jump in there. And that's pretty much all I have. Packy, take us away.
Before you leave, I'll let everybody know I'm not that big into sneakers, so my comments are very limited. But Lonzo Ball is ridiculous, and I'm sure that triggered this this sneaker podcast that's coming up. God damn it! I mean, everybody keeps talking about the ZO2s that are $495. I don't know why nobody's talking about the flip flops that cost $220. Who in the hell is gonna pay $220 for flip flops? At least for $495, you're getting sneakers that you can probably play basketball with. With flip flops, you can't do anything. Like you're paying $220 to wear something to go to the store, probably in your pajamas. It's ridiculous. But that's my final thought.
I'm going to tell you who's going to pay that. A big baller's going to pay that.
What? Awesome, man. Awesome, man. That's it, man. That's it for me.
Good night, everyone. See you next week on the Unofficial Commentators. Dude.